Hello, and thanks for joining us for Straight Talk. I'm Tim Gordon in for Stephanie Domerat. As we approach the holiday season, we're really in it now. The need for help to simply put food on the table is growing. Inflation and rising costs have pushed more Oregonians to seek help from food pantries and assistance programs. For over a century, one Portland nonprofit has been on the front lines fighting hunger in our community. The Sunshine Division, founded in 1923, now serves hundreds of households each week through food pantries, home delivery, and other community partnerships, including the Portland Police Bureau and KGW. Joining us today to talk more about the nonprofit is Executive Director Kyle Kamberg. Kyle began his nonprofit career 25 years ago with the March of Dimes, then spent 8 years with Susan G. Komen for The Cure, did great work there. In 2011, he became Sunshine Division's first civilian executive director from outside the Portland Police Bureau. And since then, the organization has more than quadrupled both its revenue and the number of families that it serves. Kyle, thanks so much for being with us on Straight Talk today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you bet. Well, for those who may not be aware, tell us about the Sunshine Division, a great history, really.
Yeah, it's such a truly Portland story, a charity that was started by the Police Bureau and the mayor. And as we were discussing off camera, I don't think they knew they were starting a charity
Right.
or a 10-decade plus, thing that was going to continue all these years. But 1923, just down the street from where we're filming here, Goose Hollow, you had the mayor of Portland, some city officials, the police chief, police officers, and this first batch of police reserves. So I love the history of this. A bunch of police officers, unfortunately had been laid off because of the invention of the car. They didn't need as many police officers walking 2 by 2 over the city. And they took food to people's homes just right down the street here in Jefferson Street here in Goose Hollow on Christmas Eve. And so coming up in a week from now, it'll be the 103rd year in a row that we're going to do a massive home delivery, not just in Goose Hollow anymore and not just on foot anymore, but for the 103rd year straight, Sunshine Division, again with the help of Portland Police and over 1,000 volunteers, are going to do a holiday home delivery. So a lot has happened in those 10 decades, but that's the origin. Is the mayor and the chief of police said, we need to help people here in the city. And they said, we've got the resources, let's get after it and do it. So
Right.
a neat origin story.
Absolutely, and it was at a time in the early 20s when the economy was suffering, people were suffering, so that's why it got started. Hey, KGW Radio also played a part with the Hoot Owls, making it happen and spreading the word about Sunshine Division.
Part of the name, so people say, well, where did that come from? Again, KGW Radio called these police officers the Sunshine Boys, which then morphed into an informal division of the Police Bureau. And then in the 1960s, the organization formally became a 501c3 charity, not just this sort of neat, cool idea that the Police Bureau and the city endorsed. And so in the 1960s, we became a charity, but still working very, very closely with the city and the Police Bureau. And, fast forward another 6 decades, and here we are.
Yeah, here we are, and you've done such great work in growing the organization because the need is so great, helping more and more families. What are you seeing in our community when it comes to the need for food assistance right now?
Unfortunately, these past 5 years have just been absolutely brutal for working Americans, and not just Oregonians or people that live here in the Portland metro area, but across the country. We all know, no one really wants to talk about COVID and the pandemic, but there was residual effects of that. We had school closures multiple times here in Oregon. We've had more wildfires and ice storms than I've ever seen in my whole life, and I've lived in Oregon my whole life. Of course, we all know about record inflation. And then we've had civil unrest and rioting, and of course, lately we've seen it again. We've had another uptick in inflation, and just the cost of living for your average, normal American, it's been really difficult. And people are turning to places like the Sunshine Division, their local food bank, food pantry across the country, more than at any time per capita since the Great Depression. So when people say, what's happening, or what does the normal person that comes to your food pantry look like? It's working families. It's senior citizens that are on fixed incomes. It's people with a disability. It's people who have lost a job or have had hours cut back. What we see a lot is people who've had really one bad day, one unfortunate thing, whether that's a medical issue, a loss of a job, a car transmission that needs repair. Far too many Americans don't have much of a safety net, and so they're turning to places like Sunshine Division more than at any time than any of us can recall.
Right, all it takes is one event really to take them out. That's so tough, but so good that you're there to help, and other organizations as well. Well, this time of year, Sunshine Division is busier than ever, really. You know, it's post-Thanksgiving. Now the holiday meal delivery is coming up. How many families will you serve, and do you need more help making it happen?
Well, what are we doing, or how many we can help right now? There's a lot. I'm going to give you a little bit of a list here. So
Sure.
on the 20th, that's going to be 3,000 home deliveries across Portland, Gresham area, Milwaukee, and for the 103rd year in a row. But our food pantry is open 52 weeks a year. You know, that's sometimes this time of year as many as 1,000 households a week are essentially shopping for food. We have a home delivery program that we ramped up to 650 households per week. We ramped that up when we saw that the government shut down and the SNAP cuts were going to happen.
Right.
That's a year-round program, so that's 52 weeks a year as well. And then one thing that many people probably don't know about Sunshine Division, we also support and work with a whole host of other social service agencies. So that's schools, that's churches, that's other nonprofits that maybe don't focus on hunger but work with low-income families. So about 500 boxes leave our warehouse every single week. Great example, a representative from Central City Concern might come to our building and pick up 6 or 7 boxes for clients they work with. And so, we've got the food pantry, we've got home delivery, we've got our agency partnerships, and then that last one is the Portland Police Bureau. And so a Sunshine Division food box is in every Portland Police Bureau precinct and has been for 10 decades. And so any hour of the day, a police officer can take that box out, or any citizen, if you come to a police precinct, which they're open 24 hours a day,
right,
any hour of the day, you can get a food box. And so we're distributing food in a variety of ways. And so to finally get to the answer to your question, somewhere in the neighborhood of 30,000 plus households, so that's more than 30,000 people, but households are going to get help this holiday season by Sunshine Division.
That is something else. And the point is, a lot of help during the holidays, but this is year round, and you need support and volunteer help throughout the year, and not just during the holidays.
Absolutely. This is kind of our, this is Super Bowl season for us, if you will. Just with between Thanksgiving and the holiday home delivery we do, that's almost 6,000 home deliveries and over a couple thousand volunteers. But hunger isn't seasonal. We don't get to January 2nd and pat ourselves on the back and say, we're done here. The pantry's open 52 weeks a year. The home delivery continues 52 weeks a year. And really, there's different times a year where we see massive spikes that I think most people wouldn't think about. When school is out of session, whether that's a spring break or summer break, families turn to food pantries more and more. Anytime there's a weather event, we just had a little flooding this week, that went away pretty quickly. But if there's an ice storm, if there's a weather event, people can't go to work, people are stuck, they don't have daycare. Again, they turn to places like Sunshine Division more and more. So it's not just a Thanksgiving to December 31st issue. This is truly a year-round work we do.
Yeah, it sure is. Well, let's talk about the Super Bowl season of it all, though, right now. And Winter Wonderland is on, which is a spectacular event with all the lights out at Portland International Raceway. It benefits Sunshine Division. In fact, it's all yours. Tell us about it and give us your best pitch for folks to go on out there and do it and enjoy it.
Yeah, so 9 years ago, with the help of a grant of a local foundation, we were able to buy the actual ownership of the event. So we own and operate it. Part of that is we assume the risk with it too.
Sure.
But weather's nice and warm right now, so we're not going to get snowed out this year. The pitch is this, and I have a teenager, so I've been going for a number of years. Where else can you pile the entire family, the neighborhood, your kids' friends, grandma, grandpa, generations into one car and get them all together, turn off the cell phones, and have a good hour of just family, holiday, wholesome, lo-fi, and in a good way. Lo-fi, we're turning off the iPhones, we're turning up the dial on the Christmas music, and we're gonna go very, very slowly through this 2+ mile track with all these different holiday lights. So if you have little kids, they're gonna love the dinosaurs. If you have older kids, they're going to love the blinking light tunnels, and they're going to stick their head out the window and take
cool.
their Instagram photos.
For sure.
Maybe I like maybe the more traditional. There's also the 12 days of Christmas. There's something for everyone. But the bottom line is, where else can you get the entire family in one car? And it is one ticket for the entire car. This is not this is not going to a major sporting event and cost you hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
It's that one ticket. So if you can pack 7 or 8 people into the SUV or the minivan, do it, because then it's a great price. I mean, it's cheaper than soft serve at that point.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
And then ultimately, you're helping Sunshine Division. So it's checking all of the boxes. Great holiday, event. great family event, and you're helping Sunshine Division. So I think it's the win-win-win.
Yeah, and I love the part about, I mean, yeah, you get the phone out to get the Instagram, but otherwise the screens are down, you're looking up, you're enjoying it. Yeah. How many lights are there? What's the
I
number?
get that question a lot. I have not counted them one by one by one, but we're talking well over 300 installations with over two miles of lights. So imagine doing your home and now multiplying that by 2 miles by two sides of the street.
Sure.
It's over 1 million lights. It's a lot of lights. And like I said, just a lot of fun to be able to get everyone together and have that kind of just that moment that unfortunately escapes a lot of us in the busy world.
Absolutely. It was really great. It's been a family tradition for us, and we sure appreciate it. And it's so cool that it does support your work at Sunshine Division. So we talked about this being a year-round operation. As you noted, leading it since 2011, you're moving into a much-needed new space now. What do you see for the future? And talk about that new space and how that fits into all this.
Yeah, so those that don't know, we've been in a pre-World War II, essentially machine shop. We'll call it a warehouse, but it was something was built there,
right?
Almost 100 years ago.
Oh, it was old.
And we've been in that building for 50 years. We've long since outgrown it. In fact, the past 5 years, with the help of the folks at Safeway, Albertsons, they've let us use vacant grocery stores to do all our warehousing.
Right.
So we've had this sort of temporary bridge solution that was never meant to be the forever. We're in a building right now that they have a lease that's running out. And so that's where we warehouse everything now. We are now, next spring, and we don't have the exact date, but next spring are going to be opening up our first new facility for the first time in 50 years. And really, it's so great to have a building that is suited precisely to our needs, because the building is the tool. It's the tool to get the work done. So having the right-sized warehouse and having little things like loading docks. I mean, what is wrong with the old building? I could give you 20 minutes on
I've been in there to cover it. It's a
lack of heat,
plenty.
lack of parking.
Sure.
This new building is going to be built to suit for us. It's a 30-year-old concrete warehouse. Wow. So it's not fancy, but it's the right tool, and it's going to just unlock this ability to allow us to help so many more people. And I just love that it's a community solution. Yeah. $0 towards this are government dollars. It's all local donors. We're a local organization, local board of directors, local volunteers, helping the local community. So community solution funded by the local community. We're about 70% of the way there to the finish line, but really the building unlocks our ability to help even more people.
For the next 103 years.
That's right.
Let's do it. All right, well, we've got about 30 seconds left. Just a quick message to the people you serve and to the broader community.
I would just say, Sunshine Division's been here for 100 years. If you need help, go to our website. You can access that service. If our work speaks to you, whether it's hosting a food drive, volunteering your time, or making a gift, your help is needed now more than ever. I'm super proud of what we do. We're a Charity Navigator 4-star charity, meaning we're great with your dollar. But again, we're a community solution that's not government funded. We're funded by local people like you and I that donate their time and their dollars. And we think we do a heck of a job with those dollars to help as many people as possible. So we invite you to join us this holiday season.
Carl Camberg, Sunshine Division. Happy holidays to you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being with us.